The rain had turned the sidewalk into a mirror of broken dreams when he saw her wheelchair stuck at the edge of the curb, one wheel spinning uselessly while traffic rushed past like it didn't care who survived the morning. His phone buzzed in his pocket with reminders about the interview he had waited months for, the one chance to escape the small, suffocating life that kept him awake at night. But in that moment, time slowed, and the world narrowed to a young woman struggling alone, her face tense with pain and determination. He took a breath that felt like surrender and stepped off his path, not knowing that this single decision would quietly rewrite his entire future. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the unseen power of small choices, take a moment right now to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel Soul Tale. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. He had always lived carefully, measuring every step, every risk, because life had taught him that nothing came easily. Raised by a father whose health failed early and a mother who worked herself into exhaustion, he learned responsibility before joy. That interview represented more than a job. It was dignity, stability, and proof that all the nights of studying after long shifts had meant something. The building was only a few blocks away, its glass walls rising like a promise, but as he crouched beside the wheelchair, promise turned into uncertainty. The woman's leg was twisted at an angle that told him she had fallen trying to cross alone, her hands trembling as she tried to steady herself. He didn't ask questions. He didn't calculate time. He simply acted, lifting, adjusting, shielding her from the rain with his own jacket and guiding her safely across the street. By the time help arrived, his shirt was soaked, his resume creased, and his phone showed missed calls he didn't have the courage to check. He waited with her until a ride came, making sure she was safe, warm, and no longer alone. She thanked him with tired eyes and a smile that felt heavier than words, then disappeared into the blur of the city. He stood there afterward, rain dripping from his hair, knowing the interview was lost. There was no dramatic breakdown, no anger at fate, just a quiet ache in his chest as he walked away from the building he would never enter. Days turned into weeks, and disappointment settled like dust. Rejection emails came and went, savings shrank, and doubt whispered that kindness was a luxury for people who could afford it. He replayed that morning often, wondering if he had been foolish, if doing the right thing had cost him the life he wanted. Yet every time he imagined walking past her, the thought felt heavier than failure. Somewhere deep inside, he knew he would make the same choice again, even if it meant starting from nothing. One afternoon, a formal letter arrived, unexpected and official, requesting his presence at a corporate headquarters far more impressive than the one he had missed. Confusion replaced fear as he entered a bright, quiet room filled with calm authority. There she was, no longer fragile on the curb but composed, confident, seated behind a long table. The woman from the rain was the CEO, her disability never defining her power, her eyes recognizing him before his mind could catch up. She remembered everything, the way he chose her without hesitation, the way he treated her like a human being instead of a problem to avoid. She explained how that morning had been a test of character she never announced, how she believed that skill could be taught but values could not. Companies were built on resumes, but legacies were built on people. He listened, heart pounding, as the weight of his sacrifice transformed into something larger than success. The interview he missed was never the real one. The real interview happened in the rain on a crowded street when no one was watching. His life changed quietly after that, not with sudden wealth or dramatic applause, but with purpose. He was offered a position that matched his ability and honored his integrity. More importantly, he carried a renewed faith that kindness, even when it feels costly, is never wasted. Each morning, as he walked into the building, he remembered the man he had been before, desperate and afraid, and the man he was becoming, grounded and certain. The city still rushed, people still hurried past one another, but he no longer felt invisible. He had learned that success does not always arrive on schedule, and sometimes the path forward asks for a detour through compassion. The wheelchair-bound girl he helped was no longer just a twist of fate. She was proof that the world notices when you choose humanity over ambition, even if the reward comes later than expected. Before this story ends, take a moment to comment below and tell us what you would have done in his place. Your words matter, and your perspective could inspire someone else facing the same choice. As the years passed, he became known not just for his work, but for the way he treated people when nothing was at stake. And on rainy mornings when the sidewalks gleamed like mirrors again, he smiled softly, remembering the day he thought he lost everything, only to discover that he had gained far more. If this story touched your heart, reminded you of the power of a single kind act, or gave you hope in a difficult moment, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to Soul Tale. Your engagement keeps these stories alive, and together we can remind the world that kindness still matters.